Yesterday we looked at the complete process from MRP to assign and process the requisitions, creating POs automatically, goods receipt, invoice receipt, stock overview. I'm not sure we did the goods issue and all some of the movement types. So let's look at the goods issue and the movement types today. If I go to logistics, inventory management, goods movement, there are kind of multiple transactions here. I would always use the it doesn't matter actually, MB1A. In this case, I'm just going to be using, let me see, so the same material that we've been using, I'm just going to be consuming it. So I'm going to be consuming it against my cost center. So I'm going to use movement type 201. Okay, my plant is 1000, my storage location is 0001, and my material is AM2-401. I know there is a lot of stock, so the way I'm going to look at my stock is MMBE, right? So I'm double clicking on this thing, and I have 732 pieces in my inventory. So let's say theoretically I'm consuming every single thing, 732 pieces. I'm going to consume here 732 pieces, and it's going to ask me for a cost center. I know it's going to be 1000, so you have to pick. So whoever is consuming it should put in their cost center. Okay, cost center is something. What is the cost center? It's a department that's actually consuming the goods, so that's actually paying for the money. Okay, and now I'm ready, and I'm going to be saving this particular transaction. The key thing is 201. I have my material document posted 491551. We'll remember that. Okay, so now if I go back to my stock overview, if I just refresh it, everything should disappear. I have 0. I have nothing, no quantities left at all for that particular material. So just an example of the 201 movement type. And you can also do many different movement types using the same transaction. I'm just going to close all these things here. And there are several ones. One is I can also consume from consignment. So let's see, I have 19 pieces left, right? So this is from the consignment of the special stock. If I go back to the same thing, I have 19 pieces from vendor stock, and I'm going to hit enter. I know hit vendor is going to be 1000. My cost center is going to be 1000. My material is going to be that, and I have 19 pieces. Okay. And then I have another document created here. It's the same number. Okay, that's 12. And now if I go back to, so it should be nothing left. I consume all my regular stock and also consume my vendor consignment stock. So nothing, right? There's 0 left for that particular material. So now I can actually go back and rerun my MRP, right? Now I consumed everything. Now I'm going to do MD03. Okay, so I'm going to rerun my MRP. So it should create requisitions again for me. So now it's creating, now today's, this particular, as you can see, is 16133, 34, 35, 36 is creating these requisitions again for me. So I'm gonna save these requisitions. MRP has been successfully carried out, and I'm gonna repeat the other steps. I'm gonna go back to the purchase requisitions, follow-on functions, assign and process. My material is that. Okay, again with the same materials, I'm just going to select. I'm going to assign automatically. I'm just going to select this time around my contract. Okay, I'm going to save it. I'm going to go back, assign. I'm going to do a test run. Everything is success. I'm going to undo the test flag. Automatically create the POs. Everything got created. You can see this one PO actually 46101. No, that's the agreement. Where is my PO? Okay, this is my PO. 17591 is my PO. Okay, so let's try the MIGO little bit differently today. So I'm just going to put that, enter, and instead of using movement type 101, I'll try something else this time. So I'm just gonna try to the block stock, but proceed to the block stock, and I'm only gonna hit the 200 here, and I'm just gonna save it. It's gonna ask me for a storage location. So I'm only doing goods receipt just one line, right? We had 5 different lines, but you're only using one different line. So I'm gonna go back here, rerun it. Okay. It should be in the block stock. Why are we putting in unrestricted use? We should have put the thing in the block stock. Not sure. Let me see. Maybe I didn't pick the right.
Yeah, the item level you had it movement type as 101 actually.
Okay, maybe I did something wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you pick the right movement type, it should go into the block stock, and you can always do transfer posting. I can always go back now and do transfer posting. Let's movement transfer posting. You can always go look at the my let me see. No, I can do MB1B. I can do now movement type. I can do plant to plant. I can also do, let me see which ones I want to do it. Transfer posting from material to material, plant to plant. I'm going to try and do something different. Transfer posting, storage location to storage location, QI from block stock, from block stock, from consignment, from block stock, posting from consignment, sales, stock in transit, posting from project to project. I'm looking for unrestricted to block stock, unrestricted to, let's see, consignment, block stock, consignment, QI, unrestricted, restricted customer posting to unrestricted. Detected. Not sure. I'll figure out consignment material to reversal. Not finding the right movement type, but let me do just a typical one, plant to plant. Okay, so we're just going to move from plant 1000 to plant 1100 in this case. Material receiving plant is 1100. The storage location is 0001. I know I had like 19 pieces or something like that. I'm going to just move 10 pieces. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go out. I'm going to see if I can redo my list here. Why is it showing? Okay, and if I remove my plant, it should show my 14 pieces in plant. Yep, 14 pieces in plant 1100, and my 190 pieces in plant 1000. So I just moved from plant to plant in this case. So same thing, you can move things around from plant to plant, from unrestricted to quality inspection to restricted. So you can kind of move things around from different buckets using this transaction right here. Got it, Siri? Do you see that?
I saw the receiving plant you put, but I didn't see the.
Yeah. So
where you moved it to.
Use MB1B. Use MB1B to move things around, and if you have to do a goods issue, then use MB1A, and the typical MIGO is your goods receipt. So people, you're saying the thing is what? Unrestricted block.
344 movement type. Yeah.
44.
Yeah.
Okay.
For unrestricted to block. Yeah.
344. This is the opposite, posting to unrestricted. Block stock to unrestricted. I was looking for unrestricted to block.
Oh yeah. Oh, the other way around, right? Okay. Okay.
You can also search here. Quality inspection to unrestricted. QI to unrestricted. QI to unrestricted. QI. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think these are all I mean, surprisingly, nobody. I think you remember these are all interview questions that ask these things like crazy. Movement types. Tell me a movement type for plant to plant. Tell me a movement type for. At least you should remember the 101, 121, 301, 201. Some important ones. At least 10, 15 very prominent ones. Okay, so we covered MIGO, we covered the goods issue, and we covered the transfer posting in the inventory management transaction. And reservation means we're actually blocking the stock. MB21.
Hariya, ideally we can use MIGO for everything, right? We don't need to use MB1B or MB1C, any of these, right? Ideally we could use MIGO almost everything, right?
There are some restriction. Let me. Who's somebody's echo here? Yeah, some. I mean, Migo doesn't allow. It does not allow some movement types. You can't this. There are some movement types that you cannot use in this one. That's why we use MB1A and MB1B here. So let me see. There are some movement types that do not display here. 201. I guess it is showing up. Yeah, you could use this as a central one. Yep. Yeah, you can just do a reservation. You could just use this as a one central source instead of going to each and every transaction. So let's do a reservation here. Movement type. Well, the key thing here is if you go through the other ones, they usually default to the movement type. That's one good thing, right? Over there, you have to remember everything. Here, as soon as I clicked on reservation, it just popped in the 301 for me. So I'm going to open up. I'm going to go to MB1B, MMBE. So now I have 190 pieces, all unrestricted use. Note that. So I'm just going to hold 90. Why am I doing okay? 700. My reservation document has been created, and I'm going to go back to my stock overview, and 90 pieces have been reserved now. So no one else can use the 90 pieces, even though I have 190, 90 pieces have been reserved, and 100 pieces are available for anybody else. So you can move things around from unrestricted to quality to reservation to whatever. So they're all different buckets that you can move things around. So I would like you to add based on yesterday's scenario, kind of go through all these things, do a goods issue, and also goods issue to cost center, check MMBE, inventory, and also do reservation. So if you can complete this thing, I think we pretty much completed the full circle of procurement. Okay, I'm just going to go back and look if there is anything else. Yes, we looked at the creation of the POs. We looked at the ME53. I will actually add, maybe we can look at the release today, how to do the release conditions today. I'll do that. We looked at the list displays yesterday, right? Reporting, I think I've shown you. We also seen the follow-on functions. We created the purchase requisitions. We have done the outline agreements, or just the contracts. We've seen the list displays for the contracts. Seen RFQs and quotations. We've done the inventory movement. Material documents, same thing. Whenever we create these documents, actually we can go back and say these are material documents. So you can go back and actually do a display on the material documents. So material document always has an accounting document, okay? So you can double click on it. So this should, previously we did a debit, now we're doing a credit. We're just moving this thing opposite direction, right? Again, these things will come from the automatic account determination. So these are the posting keys. Here, 89 is a debit and 99 is a credit. 99 is a credit. Right here, see? This is a stock outward movement. So every material document will create an accounting document, and the accounts for this one would come from the automatic account determination, which is in the config, and I'll review the config next time we meet. So we looked at the material document, goods movement, goods issue, transfer posting, MB1B. We looked at the reservation just now, okay? And we also did the MRP, right? We also did the service entry sheet last time we met. Terry, we did the service entry sheet, right? Does anybody want to see it again? Service entry sheet. Okay. So if we go back to just like the goods receipt, if you are receiving services, it's called a service entry sheet. So if I go back to my PO, and I'm just going to take any PO, I'm just going to adapt it. So if I put a D here, it's going to be a service PO. That means I will not have a material. So there is no material, and this will become a service PO. Means this is a service items, basically. So I don't know what's happened to this one. Not sure why is it complaining. So let me do a fresh PO. I'm going to do 1000. I'm going to do a D. 1000. I'm going to do a D is always a service item. Okay, for that a material category is required. I'm just going to do a K, means I'm just putting it for the cost center. Short text is service items. My plant is 1000. And now it's going to bring up the service items. So I'm buying services, so it's going to ask for a service item. So now I'll pull a service item is just like a material master. You have to maintain services. So I'm fixing I'm doing plumbing. And I need, it is hours, so I need 100 hours of plumbing services. And my cost center is going to be 1000. And it's saying there is a contract exists for this particular material, material group, and you just pull the price at $1,200 for the plumbing services. So you're just creating a PO with the item category D, account assignment K. I'm asking for plumbing services, $100. There is already a contract, so it pulled up the price, and I save it. So now, because this is a service item, I can't do a goods receipt. I have to do a service entry sheet. I have to go service entry sheet ML81N, and I have to click on new. to plumbing services. And I have to do service number would be plumbing. So I asked for 100, but I only got 90. Okay. What happened? Quantity 102 exceeds quantity 1200 in purchasing. 102. Where is 102? Only did 90. I asked for 100 and I asked for 90. What is the same quantity? 102 exceeds quantity 12 in purchase order. Did I put in the right PO here? Hold on. 7592. 7592. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna create brand new plumbing services. Okay, now it works. So I got the 100 hours that I ordered. Let's say I'm only doing 90 at this point of time. And everything is exceptions data. Everything is there. If I want, I can actually put in reference text. Everything is optional. And I'm just going to save it. And my service entry sheet has been created in this case. So that's how you do the service entry sheets. You booked it to cost center, right? So yeah, there is no accounting documents because you actually booking it to cost center directly at this point, expensing it. So there is no material document created at this point. Okay, and I can also turn the tree on and off, and then I need to actually there is also something called release in this case. So I need to accept the service entry sheet. So it's kind of a checks and balances here. Now this is in a status called accepted status. Means I created a service entry sheet. Now the service entry sheet got accepted. Because I put in a cost center, it automatically does create an accounting entry, but not a no accounting document, no material documents. Code to create a service entry sheet is ML81N. I'll do it here. Service entry sheet. Okay, and then this is how you create the service entry sheet. AC03 is the service master. When you come here, create a brand new, and you can create a new service item. Service category, general services. They use hours all the time. An object number range does not exist. Some issue with the number range problem, but typically you come here to the AC03, just like MMO1, MMO2, MMO3. ACO3 is creating the services. Okay, that I think we covered pretty much everything. Covered services, material master, service entry sheet, MRP, and we did cover logistics invoice verification, Miro, valuation. Don't worry about it at this point in time. So I'm just going to create here. You would like you to repeat these things. Create a service PO. 21 and I'm just going to stop recording actually. See, Sarah, I mean, my thing has been stable. It's not, it's been, didn't log me out. So I'm going to take this particular PO, double click on it. I'm going to click on messages. Now this thing is set for EDI. Okay. This has been defaulted because in the configuration I had it defaulted to EDI. So I'm just going to do manually. I'm going to change it. I'm in the change mode. I go to messages. I can add whatever. I can add again NEU, and now I can say set to print. Okay. Exists for partner. Okay. Clicks are maintained. Okay. ZNEU. Medium is missing. Processing program missing for output. Medium one. So it's got some configuration issue there. Let me pick something else. Oh, some problem there. You can do that. Nope. Okay, some problem with the kind of configuration is already there. It's not going to let me do it. Oops. Okay. Anyway, you have to click on the if you wanna issue or reprint something, you have to click on the change, click on the messages, pick medium as print, and then go to click on this and then go to further data and set to set immediately means it's going to print immediately, and then save it. And if it is EDI, if it is print, it's just going to print it. Output already. There is no log for this thing. If there is an activity, if it did print, if it did EDI, you can see that activity in the processing log. And you can also do a print preview for that. And then I'm just going to get into the configuration and show you where the message configuration is. So this is the one we were looking at. Oh, this is not in SPRO. This is outside. These are condition records. Always condition records are in the user field. So let's try that. Okay, this is the one we had. This is the condition record for vendor 1000 for partner type VN, which is a vendor. We set it to medium 6. Medium 6 is EDI. That's how it's defaulting. Whenever I create a PO, it's been defaulting EDI. And these are condition records. The condition records are right here, and this is not a SPRO. It's just a regular, messaging condition records. So you can set condition records for messages for quotation, PO, outline agreements. What do you want to do? Whether you want to print, EDI, fax, whatever you want to do, you can set a condition record here. Okay, the customization, actually creating the messages, actually creating the communication types is in SPRO. The condition records are here, but the configuration is in SPRO. And that message configuration should be here: material master, purchasing, messages, and the actual configuration is right here. Message types for purchase order. So once you create the message types, once you create the condition tables, the records you create on the other side. This is the configuration side, and that's the other side. So these are the ones that we see in the drop down, right? So you can go ahead and change it. You can take an existing one, copy it, and create your own custom output type, or you can just look at the existing one, and these are all the different medium types, and these are the different programs that are used to process those things. But the actual condition type, when these things are used for which vendor, which plant, which purchasing organization, you have to create them in the condition records. Okay. And all the POs that we are been creating, they're not required to be released. And there is something called a release strategy. Okay, so if a release is required, you have to go here. You can do individual release, one PO at a time, okay, or you have to do a collective release, ME28. If you set something for a release, to do that, you have to set up a release strategy, release conditions, and the configuration for that is in SPRO. Go to material master, you go to purchasing, you go to purchase orders, and the release procedures for purchase orders is right here. Here you have to, let's look at the release procedures for purchase orders. So you have to create release groups. Release groups is who basically which defines that which objects are included in the release group. So for example, release group 2, we have a PO as a release. Okay. and there are release codes. Release codes basically define who can release things. Means release code PU means team leader, release code Z3 means director. Sometimes make up, these are not very friendly, but you have to make up something really nice. MM means manager, TL means team lead, DI means director, and each of these release codes would need certain authorization. They have some role that they use to release these codes. So you have release groups, which is primarily the objects that you're trying to release, and you have release codes that define who is the person that's going to release, and then you have to develop a release strategy. So release strategy has a release group. So in this case, the group is O2, okay? And the release code, that means you're releasing a PO in this case, and the person who can release this thing is a team leader, and the release status means it's going to be in a status called R, means your release is required for this particular thing. And if you click on classification, if the purchasing organization is 1000, document type is NB, purchasing group is 004, and if the net order value is 125,000, then it's going to be in the status called release. So let me change it to purchasing group 001. Okay, and if the net order value is, I'm just going to delete the plant. Okay. Let me put plant 1000. Let me deleting it. So if the plant is 1000, the net order is 125,000, the purchasing group is 001, and the document type is NB, then it requires a release. Okay. So it is 125,000. So let me see if that works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. So I'm going to go to PO. I'm going to go create a brand new one. Copy it. That's not a good one. Okay, I'm just going to new one. So, okay, this will work. Adapt it. And I'm just going to put in, okay, and this is going to be for plant 1000, and just checking the organization data is for purchasing group 001, and it matches all the given conditions for us, so it should go into a release status. Okay, let's see. And purchase order 0001 P has been created. I'm just going to go see my purchase orders. That's the one I created. Yep, it is. See, now this is in release status. So this is blocked. See the status? So this PO is in a status that your release is required for this PO. So you cannot use it if you cannot do goods receipt on this PO because it's going to say it's been blocked. So this PO has been blocked for use. It can only be released by using an individual release, and this is how you release it. You go back here, individual release. See here, PU, the team leader, only this guy can release it. So I'm a team leader now, I'm just going to release it. Now it's checked, saved. Now it's going to be in a status released. Okay, so that's how the release procedures work. Okay, one last thing I want to show you, classification, MMO3, and here, where is my classification? I guess I did not create the classification. Okay, let me create a brand new material. So classification means you can actually make this material configurable. Configurable means, let's say, you have widgets. So instead of creating a red widget, blue widget, green widget, you can just create widget and put color in the classification. Or you can also create a material called TV, and you can create a Samsung TV, Sony TV, high definition TV. So the material, it gives a lot of flexibility to create materials if you use classification. Basically, classification is classes, and it makes material configurable. Configurable means there's a lot of flexibility in defining the material. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. It's getting kind of late for you guys and me. I think that should be it. So we looked on messages, we looked on release procedures, and we looked on classification. Okay, and then we're not going to meet tomorrow. We'll meet on Friday, and we'll meet on Saturday, and we'll get into more and more configuration.